What's up, everybody? My name's Trey. This is Ramsey. I didn't hit play on the camera, but don't worry about that. We have a great podcast episode for you today because we are actually talking about the GOAT. The GOAT of the WNBA. And not just like now, we're talking about of all time. Because if you don't know, A'ja Wilson has been stacking accolades. And she has probably more hardware than her boyfriend Bam does. But we're not going to talk about that right now. She has MVPs, championships, final MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year awards. Look, she's done it all. And I think we have to start having the conversation. Is A'ja Wilson the GOAT? I think it's really between a handful of players. Just to kind of narrow it down a little bit, Lisa Leslie was the pioneer. She did everything early on, especially when the sport was so new. Candace Parker made real eyes come to the WNBA. Like, you're probably first player that you can remember when it comes to WNBA players is Candace Parker. One of the first ones to dunk. One of the first ones to come out of college and kind of dominate straight away. And now we have A'ja Wilson. And I think dominance is the best way to kind of describe her. She's doing everything. She's leading in scoring, rebounding, probably famous NBA, WNBA couple. Like, she's doing really everything. But how are you feeling about just the absolute dominance that this woman has put on in her league, my boy?
Miss A'ja Wilson need to come proper when we speak on her name, respectfully, because as much as I consider myself to be a purist of the game, and I think that we throw the GOAT word around a lot, and I think that there can be multiple GOATs to the sport that we are discussing. But when it comes to Miss A'ja Wilson and her accolades and what she has been able to do in such a short amount of time, I think it is worthy for us to say that she may good and well be the GOAT of all time. Just look at her hardware. I mean, 4-time WNBA MVP, 3-time WNBA champion, 2-time WNBA Finals MVP, 2-time WNBA Defensive Player of the Year, 2 scoring titles, Rookie of the Year, 5-time All-Star. We know that's going to go up. 3-time WNBA First Team. We know that's going to go up. And that's in a span of 5 years. So, I mean, what's it going to look like in 10? And when you look at it like this and you look at the stats that I had read off, she could retire today.
And be the GOAT.
And we would still be able to have this discussion. You know how we had the discussion about Maya Moore when she retired? Same thing would be happening with A'ja Wilson right now, just on a much bigger microphone. No disrespect to Maya Moore, but I mean, if we compare A'ja Wilson to Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi, Tamika Catchings, Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie, she is outpacing all of them in terms of hardware and stats. I mean, just in the finals this year, she averaged almost 30 and 12 and 2 blocks. Almost had 5 dimes on top of that. So when we look at her as a professional and we look at how well she is able to be the anchor of her team, she's like the Tim Duncan of WNBA. When we look at how efficient she has been and how she is and how she will continue to be. The Aces colors kind of look like Spurs colors if we want to be facetious a little bit, right? But she plays the position well. She has that killer instinct. She beat the Mercury at the buzzer in Game 3 with 2.2 on the clock. Her jersey's number 22. I mean, she already has the poetic clutch gene that all GOATs are supposed to have. When we look at A'ja Wilson, we really need to have the conversation to start considering her the greatest women's basketball player of all time. Because when we look at her resume, I don't think that there are many resumes that can even come close to being compared to hers right now. And hers is still building. The ones that we are comparing hers to are finished. That's a big difference. So I don't know if I'm reading too much into A'ja Wilson's greatness. I just think that as a purist and a fan of the sport, it is very refreshing to see the level of dominance that she is able to perform. And me having the privilege of seeing her perform live in Vegas, the hype is real. A'ja Wilson is that woman for sure, hands down, without a doubt. 10 out of 10. Pass go, collect $200, give it to her because she's the GOAT. But, I mean, how do you feel?
Right now, like just WNBA, I feel like there's nothing you can compare her to. Obviously, people are gonna say like I, non-avid sports watchers will probably bring up like Caitlin Clark, but that's just a name. Like the stats tell a completely different story. One person that I'm actually comparing her to, and it's like two very different sports, but is Patrick Mahomes. You look at his run coming out and basically setting the league on fire, and that's exactly what Aja's been doing. She's leading in all categories, and at any point in time, she is the best player in every game that she's played. I don't think it's even close at this point in time. If you ask every owner of WNBA teams who's the one player you want on your team, it's going to be Aja, hands down. Probably unless you're talking to the Fever, like I said, Caitlin Clark. But like she's just in a different league right now, and I'm almost more confused when she doesn't win championships than when she does. When she wins, I'm like, yeah, of course, why wouldn't she? And then whenever, like last year when they didn't win the championship, I'm like, oh, she must have been injured. Like something was obviously wrong because I know she's the best player in the league. So when you get to the point where winning becomes not even something that's really sought after, it's more expected, I think that really tells your level of greatness that you're at. If we're saying, hey, if you're not winning MVPs, regular season or finals MVPs, then you had a bad year. I think that really bodes well to how great you are and how dominant you are to your specific sport. Because anybody else, we would not be having this conversation with. You could slit her career right now, and she's already, in my opinion, the best WNBA player we have. Not to mention, she's not even close to ending her career. Like, obviously, outside of like a major injury, which definitely don't hope she has, but she could easily play for 5, maybe 10 more years. Not saying at this level of dominance that she is now, but I only see her hardware continue to build on what she has already started to be an amazing legacy as the best WNBA player of all time. Now, do you have any hot takes when it comes to maybe this specifically or anything outside of this that we have for the people today, my boy?
Absolutely. I think that while we are talking about the greatness of Aja Wilson as a professional and a purist in her craft, if we're going to talk about the WNBA as a whole, she did go up against the Phoenix Mercury, who were not at 100%. They did go up against the Indiana Fever, who were not at 80%, let alone 100%. Right. So I think my hot take is I have the Indiana Fever going to the finals next year. And I'm looking at how they competed against Aja Wilson and the Aces without Sophie Cunningham, without Caitlin Clark, without Aaliyah Boston in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. All of their heavy hitters. Right. So you mean to tell me that their B and C team and practice squad was able to keep up with the Aces in a playoff game? Okay, well, if that is the core and the culture that they are going to promote, I would love to take some future bets on the Fever being the WNBA champions for next year. And if you want to take that bet, you heard it here first at Butter Day Sports, but I digress. Yeah, that'll be my hot take. I have the Fever not only going to the finals, I have them winning next year.
Okay, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So my hot take is we need to stop this. I wouldn't even say it comparison. We need to stop this rivalry that is Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. We need to go ahead and shut this down now. I would like to restart a rivalry and say Caitlin Clark versus Paige Beckers. I think it's going to be one of the most highlighted, most fun matchups that we're going to have in the WNBA just because they play the same position. I feel like skill-wise, they're very comparable. They've had this rivalry going back to college when they played in the playoffs. I think that needs to be the spotlight on the WNBA going forward outside of just Asia's absolute dominance. But this Caitlin Clark Angel Reese rivalry, I think we need to just put this to bed, okay? I'm getting tired of Steph Curry going up against Draymond Green or like an Andrew Drummond type of player. So I need something a little bit better from the media. But we really hope that you enjoyed this episode, and tell us what you feel about Asia in the comments. Is she the GOAT, or who is your WNBA GOAT? Because I think there's only a handful that you can really pick from, so I would like to see your answers down in the comment section down below. But if you are somebody new to the channel, you're new to the pod, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get notified every time I post a video. And we will see you in the next one. Peace.